Thank you for tuning in once again to Talk So Real with Matt Sonzala. We're on video. We made it. Today's guest, and I want to say thank you to the city of Austin for helping make this happen. Of course, KAZI for bringing us here in the studios and their beautiful new building. My earliest memories of Austin hip hop include my guest here today, Juana Esparanza, because I used to come here and see the Cooly Girls come from Houston, not even living here in Austin, come to shows. It seems like almost every time I came and there was a hip hop show, I would see the Cooly Girls. And it's really an honor to have you here. You're definitely a legend and a pioneer in this whole community.
Thank you so much. Those are some big words that I like to hear surrounding my name when they're said out in public. So yeah, Cooly Girls is where I got my start here in ATX, performing all over the city. And you're right, we were performing almost every single weekend, opening up for every major rap artist that toured through the city back in the late 80s, early 90s. So got my feet wet a little bit early in the game.
Well, what I liked here was the scene was, living in Houston, it was like a pretty dynamic scene. It was real cool. But when you came to Austin, there was like this whole different vibe. And it was the way I first saw you guys, to be honest, was I came from like punk rock. And Tim Kerr had a band here long before that called the Big Boys, who were like a really pioneering punk group. But at the time when I was 17 or something, he had a group called Bad Mutha Goose, which was like a funk and hip hoppity funk like live band that as a kid, I was like, man, these guys are fun. It's crazy. It's totally unique. And I think the first time I saw y'all was with them, opening with them.
One of the things that I thought was really cool when I think back to the time when we were kind of emerging on the rap scene in Austin is we kind of came in at a time when the funk and the singing was getting more incorporated into the rap groups. Like there were singing groups and soul groups, and then there were hip hop groups and rap groups. And one of the things that we brought to the scene that was different was we had 3 full voiced, loud, strong background singers and strong rap vocals coming from Miss Dank. But myself, Red, and Rakisha, we were some really strong background vocalists. So that allowed us to kind of pair with people from multiple different genres because we weren't just a rap group. We had full singers, we had a rapper, we had dancers that traveled with us when we performed, and sometimes we even had a live band. So that was kind of fresh back in the early 90s for this genre.
And that's part of where I think it's a pioneering, in Austin, like there wasn't a scene like that in most places, man. Like when I came here and you mentioned the live bands and a real show, like I think this live music capital of the world thing is such a blessing because I say this all the time. I love Houston. I love, all the Houston rap and stuff, but the quality levels here, especially performance-wise, were unparalleled. Like there's no comparison to like some of these dudes who I love from Houston, but when you come to Austin, people I never even heard of are blowing people off the stage.
I love Houston so much, but one of the big things that I noticed that was different just back when I was like really out there in the scene is that if you go to Houston and you do a show, you have a show tape. And they basically make a tape of you rapping all your songs, and then you rap along to the songs, and it's just loud. There's no intimacy. There wasn't really a connection with the crowd. It was just like 13, can I cuss? 13 motherfuckers on stage. Everybody jumping around, hollering and screaming. There wasn't really an intimate connection between the crowd. And it's different in Austin because you're more likely to go to a rap show where there's different genres of music. There's singing, there's rapping. There are some folks using a show tape, but there's also some folks with a live band and you're jamming. And you have a different mix of crowd because you have the crowd that can appreciate the live acoustics, that intimacy that comes with actually making the music while you're performing the music out to the crowd. And that's one of the things that I really, really love about Austin. You can go to almost any venue, and I've performed in a lot of venues here, and, it's fine to bring a band. It's also cool to bring a show tape, but that's the biggest thing that I noticed. Like there's more preparation and crowd engagement in the performances that I've done in Austin versus in Houston. In Houston, here's our tape. We do our 15-minute set. That's it. We leave.
Well, I think where that comes from too is like Austin is such a live music venue city. Like in Houston, the live music venues weren't bringing in black music. They weren't for a long time. It took a long time till they started, especially hip hop, man. Like I remember when I saw like Cypress Hill and MC8 or Compass, it was in all black nightclub on the north side or the south side. The center of the city wasn't doing it. And then I remember all of a sudden like Cypress Hill or Ice-T would get booked in like a quote unquote, live music venue. The show quality was way better. A lot of different people came together. And when I was coming to Austin before all that, I was noticing you guys already had a pretty diverse crowd. The nightclubs, they don't have a sound engineer that's really that great.
Right.
You got the real live music venue that does this every night.
Yes.
And it was just worlds apart. It was like, there were some rappers that I would see in Houston and I'd be like, we got to go to Austin tomorrow with them. Yeah. We got to go see it in Austin. Yeah. Because this was whack. It was like,
I remember seeing an interview one time with Prince where he was saying he was performing and his mic was on. Mm-hmm. That's one thing in Austin. Like, you have to have your mic on. And if it's not, like, people will tell. They don't want to hear any lip syncing. They don't want to, they want to see a live. That's what we came for. We want live music. We don't want to see you rapping along, lip syncing, karaoke. We didn't come for karaoke. We came to jam, and the crowds don't mind like getting engaged. And they can tell when you're not a really true performer.
Sure. Back in the Cooly Girl days, am I wrong to say that KAZI was maybe one of the only outlets?
We spent a lot of time at KAZI. I've heard my songs, not my songs, but the Cooly Girl songs played on the radio. I've tried to get my songs played on KAZI. I did send a couple of my new tracks to Uncut. I'm just saying.
Oh, recently?
Yes.
Okay.
But KAZI was definitely an outlet and a venue and just an ever present force in the community where we were performing. We've done a lot of just community shows. They participated heavily in Juneteenth. Even, when we were heavy doing South by Southwest, there was always representatives from KAZI in the mix and around and just kind of keeping the pulse and the temperature and making sure that, the local artists weren't getting lost in all of the buzz. And I really like how they've like maintained a connection to the artists that are Austin based specifically and making sure we have a space and, a platform to be able to continue to push our music.
Well, you mentioned South by Southwest. I think most people don't understand that back when the Cooly Girls would do South by Southwest, that was the one show.
Yes. Yeah. They had a one black night or hip hop night and everybody was there. And so there weren't any, back then the famous people probably didn't start coming until like the 2000s. But back then, if you were anybody who was anybody performing was on that South by show.
I mean, the first year was 1990, Kier Worthy, and I think you guys were on the show with Ultramagnetic MCs and YZ. And Cool Keith still comes here to this day. YZ's back in Houston.
I wish that I knew where we had an epic producer back then who really looked out for us. He really kind of got our voice, our image. He was doing the producing, the marketing. His name was John Patterson, and we haven't been able to find him. But JP really put us on. Back then, he looked out for us. We went on tours. He toured with us. He made sure that, we were young. I was 13, 14 doing this. And he really covered us and made sure that we weren't exposed to some of the stuff that came along with being in the rap game back then. So shout out to JP, wherever you are.
Who were some of your contemporaries in Austin back then?
MC Overlord was rapping with us. Project Crew was there. Oh, there was a couple of girl rappers. I'm old now. I can't remember everybody's name. They'll come to me before the end. But
I was Papa Chuk and Teddy Lee and them
they were all there. DJ Casanova.
Wink D.
Yeah, we even toured with High C
and
Candy Fresh. Yeah. We toured with DMX when he was first out. DJ D Nice toured. Did one of our DJ sets. High Five. We did some pretty good tours. We even toured with 2 Live Crew. We opened for them when they came down here.
Oh, man.
And opened on Riverside that last time. So
wow. Yeah, those are crazy. People don't know a lot about, I think. People don't think about the history like that.
Well, I mean, back then when, I guess it was the new Chitlin circuit. I'll call it the Hot Link circuit back then. But everybody would come through, and especially the Houston rappers, Scarface and the Ghetto Boys, and every time they came through, we did shows with them here. We did a lot of shows with them down there, Reckless Clan, you know, a lot of just old school rappers back in the day. And Miss Dank is still heavily involved in the scene down there in Houston. So
I heard her on Hip Hop Parade recently.
yes,
She called in.
yes.
And I had
I believe she has her own radio station or a radio show down there in Houston. The name is escaping me, unfortunately, but yeah, she's still pretty heavy in the game down there.
So what do you see these days as a difference? Like, I mean, Austin's changed a lot and we complain about it and we celebrate it. There's all kinds of things you can say about it, but like hip hop wise and music wise, from when you were coming up, you have a son you raised who's one of the premier rappers here. We're going to talk to him on the series as well, Do Wrong. What do you see as like a Northside Bully?
I feel like hip hop has evolved in Austin considerably, and I'm here for it. You know, I'm here for the new school. You know, the young, we call them YNs. Don't quote me on that. But the young folks that are coming up.
That means? When I hear that all the time.
But because there have already been, you know, just a lot of roads paved, you know, yellow brick roads paved. Like, I feel like the younger generation has a clear path to be able to be artistic in the way that they want to be. Like when we were coming up, we felt like, oh, I got to get a deal, or I got to get a record deal, or if I don't get signed, you know, I won't be able to put my music out. And I don't feel like that's a barrier anymore. And so I feel like there's more focus now on the art versus the logistics to, you know, being able to facilitate your art being put out there. So like anybody can be anything now. There's no barriers. There's no, we got to wait for some big wig to come sign me. Like, you can go put your song on Spotify right now. So I think that lends towards a more free creative space for young folks, because there's just not as many barriers as, you know, to being able to be put in the spotlight. And it also shows you who the true hustlers are. You know, I want to be a rapper, but I don't have a catalog. Or I'm a singer, but I don't have any songs. Or you can be like Do Wrong, Lil Bully, and he has catalogs of music to where if he never records another song, he can still put out music for the next 10 or 15 years. So if somebody decides today, hey, we're ready for you to go right now, he's ready to go. But if that call doesn't come from, you know, some big wig at MCA Records, or even if they're still open, he has the tools, the wherewithal, the leverage, the support system, everything to push his own music. He doesn't have to wait. And that's what I think is the most valuable right now.
I think it's fantastic. But I also think in Austin, we have way more people in the media and things like that supporting. I mean, because you basically had, like I said, KAZI and Magic Video or something back in the day. You weren't getting a lot of press, you know, but now there's people who actually attend the shows and actually are out there paying attention, and it's dope. I mean, anytime I see like a rapper or someone in our community on the cover of the Chronicle or something, I'm just like shed a little tear, like, man, because I remember when that was not possible.
You know, about those photos in the Chronicle, I think it's really cool that just the media presence in the city has created avenues for a lot of folks who were in the music game and opened up doors to other things. Robert Hine right now, he was part of the League of Extraordinary G's. Now he's doing photographs for the Chronicle. Every show I go to, I see him, you know, for the Statesman getting pictures. And it's really healthy to have somebody who knows the community to be out there representing the community and being able to share those images back with the general public in a way that's true to how those folks want to be represented. I saw him at Body Rock not that long ago, and you know, there's a mixed crowd in there, but he's able to, you know, photograph and represent appropriately, you know, to show people what hip hop really is in Austin. And it's not just about the music. There's a lot of different forms of media that are important to make sure that we're being represented appropriately.
No, it's excellent, man. It's so cool to see it. And he's an incredible photographer now. And
he's a great rapper.
Yeah.
But he's a really great photographer.
If I can say something about Austin, when I came in here to book like South by Southwest shows, there's a website called thescrewshop.com. My friend Tosine does it. And I was like, hey man, you want to do a screw shop showcase for South by? I think that would be cool, man. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. And then it took him a little bit. And I was like, so who do you have for me? And this is before I knew. He's like, I got this group Southbound. I'm like, who's Southbound? He's like, this is two white dudes from here. And I was like, that's not what I called you about. Who is Southbound, man? Like, we weird. I know what Austin's got. You know what I mean? He's like, nah, man. He sent me the songs. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Who are these dudes, man? That's the early Southbound stuff, the early Dred Scott. That was the
League
greatest.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And that was the League of Extraordinary G's era. That was so much fun.
Shout out to SB the 6th Street Bully.
Man, that was my good friend,
Yes.
man. And definitely the biggest loss.
Yes.
We've lost a lot of people, man. Like a lot.
Yes. And that's why I came out of retirement.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to make sure, I've done background singing and I sang with the League. I sang with Dred Scott. I've done some work with my son. I did South by, and I want to make sure that I have an album that I can leave so they can say, oh, you're a pioneer. Where's your body of work?
Yeah.
So I'll be releasing my EP called Jackie here within the next few months.
Awesome.
We're just in the final stages of mixing and mastering. And so that'll be getting released here, hopefully before the end of the year.
That's super dope, and that's exciting. If people want to know more and get in touch with you and find out,
Juana Esparanza at Instagram.com or at Instagram, Juana Esparanza on Facebook. And I've already got one single out on all platforms right now called Flights.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna have to get you added.
Yes, I'll make sure you get
For
information on that. And the EP is really, I've got some rapping on there, some singing. Yeah.
Well, I definitely appreciate you coming through, man. I always like to talk to the legends. We're gonna have to do a longer, more in-depth one someday. Maybe we can get more of the Cooly Girls
once
together.
my EP drops, we'll get the group back together.
That would be dope. That would be really cool. Because
for sure.
This is what it's all about, man. I want to thank City of Austin KZI for helping to make this happen. Like, try to tell the stories of a city that's so dynamic, but we got to keep it going. There's so much music, like the Cooly Girls. It's, you go to look online for this stuff.
Yeah,
it's from the era of vinyl and tapes.
We got to make sure we got to make sure it's easy to find.
Yeah, for sure.
There's definitely audience out there still.
So I definitely appreciate you
Thank
for coming
Matt.
down here. I'm Matt Sonzala. This is Talk So Real with Matt Sonzala, and we've got more coming.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.